everyone, my name is Rashi Singh and I am here to give presentation for subject supply chain operations and management, and my other team members are Sanideep, Raghav and Dylan. So moving on to the next slide. So this was the topic which was selected by our team, that is how catastrophic risks such as COVID-19 could impact the supply chain industry. Moving on to the contents, so these are the contents which are going to be there in our presentation. So first three contents are going to be discussed by myself, and other contents are my friends are going to discuss. So starting with the introduction, what is COVID-19? So here CO stands for corona, VI stands for virus, D stands for disease. So and 19 stands for the year it was invented in, and COVID-19 is generally known by the name of coronavirus, and it was for the first case was found in December first week of the 2019, so that is why 19 is there. And coming to the symptoms, it includes acute fever, cough and also shortness of breath. So these are very common symptoms, but it leads to a very big virus these days. And when talking about the vaccinations, till date there has not been any vaccine invented for this virus, but still doctors are using hydroxychloroquine, which is basically a anti-malarial, vaccine used for treating the malaria disease. And coming to the origin, it was originated from Wuhan, which is one of the city in China, and there has been many rumors like how it started spreading. Some are saying it's spreaded because of the people eating bat in China, and the other rumor was that it started spreading from Wuhan lab of virology. So it's still a mystery like how it started spreading. Coming to the incubation period, so incubation period is basically the time period from exposure to the virus and when it starts showing their symptoms. So it's generally 14 days for this virus. So it's very risky because for 14 days you don't even know that you are suffering from this disease. That is why it's a pandemic. And these are some active cases as on today's date, that is 15th of May. I have taken this data from COVID Visualizer, and worldwide you can see there have been 25 lakh 18,241 cases, which is a really huge number. And in Australia it's still in control, and Australia has flattened the curve very nicely, so it's just 587, but still there are many restrictions for that. So moving on to the next slide. So alright, so coming to current situation, and talking about GSC, that stands for Global Supply Chain. Here the main thing is that the main areas which are affected most by the pandemic are also the main focal areas for the global supply chain, and that is the reason why supply chain has been affected drastically during these days. And coming to effects are highly predictable in some countries, for example China, US, India. And taking an example of China, that many of the countries and industries are dependent on China for various things, and China has been affected very badly with this pandemic, so it is not exporting and importing any kind of material or products, so that is affecting the entire world also. Coming to US, for instance, there is a recent case that one of the pork delivering company named Smithfield in US has found that 600 employees of that company have got positive in COVID-19 for COVID-19. And that is, you can we can imagine that there are so many cases in US at the moment also. And due to that 600 employees affected by COVID-19, that company had to shut down. And also that thing affected the supply chain. Coming and talking about India, India supplies many of the generic medicines to the entire world. And due to the most strictest lockdown going on in India since March last week till date, and it's still going on, so it's not importing and exporting anything except India exported some kind of vaccines which we are using for treating this COVID-19, like hydroxychloroquine. That was transported by India to US and many other neighbor countries. And talking about transportation, it has been affected very badly, as supply chain has been affected, so nobody can store it. Farmers are facing difficulty in in storing lots in storing products in the very large quantity. And so it's all the wastage of food, and they can't even transport it to the other place due to lockdowns going on. Coming to food supply chain, that has been affected very badly, and I can say it has been affected in the worst way, because food is the main thing everyone needs. And so we can't stop that supply chain, but still we have to follow some rules, and it's very difficult for food supply chain at the moment. Moving on to the next slide, that's references. These are the references I have used for my slides, and I would like to end it here. So that should be all. Thank you. Cheers.
Hi sir, my topic is how catastrophic risks such as COVID-19 could impact supply chain industry, and I will share my team members names, like a team member's name, Rashi Singh, myself, and Ravi Sudhira and Dylan Ishan. So I will start my topic. My topic is the post COVID, and I will start with my first part, like current scenario of a post COVID. And first one is like a current scenario about the post COVID-19's viewpoint is more likely to speed up the digital revolution inventiveness for the business worldwide, as the business are likely to face many, like a huge jolt in coming days, few months. Like a technology driven business framework will appear with more vigors, and will have a more significance than ever before. The digitally LED, like a supply chain models, would play a more significant role in describing the strategy of a future supply chain worldwide. So is this a current scenario? And then the main one is the impact of COVID-19 on the manufacturers and the supply chain. So first impact is the supply chain threats to several companies. So in this, like supply chain threats to several companies, like the pandemic has already posed supply chain threats to several companies, especially to those that are highly dependent upon the China. So then the China is as a main country, like for meeting the finished goods and raw material requirements. So China more or less has a huge, like a playing leading role, like a leading role if global factories this indicates that major disorders may put the GSC catapults. Like a relevant example is that the over 200 companies of the FG 500, like a Fortune Global 500 companies are present in Wuhan. So extremely commercialized provenance, and the place that was the most affected and over the pandemic originated. The companies that are directly dependent upon China for their supply chain and finished good products might experience major conventions. Evenly, it's hopefully this situation normalize in China. So this situation in the country are not going to normalize anytime sooner than the COVID-19 has been presenting and serious challenges for business worldwide. Companies are struggling with the probable liquidity crisis in the customer mindset, all the leading economic crisis across the world. So then the second impact is the digital technologies influencing the entire supply chain activities. So in this impact is the post COVID-19 globally is likely to witness digital and advanced technologies influencing the entire supply chain activities by leveraging the modern technologies including artificial intelligence like AI, Internet of Things, IoT, DSN, domain supply net DSN is like a digital supply network like 5G, and robotic are devised all the things that are related to the mitigate probable challenges related to this global supply chain, whether it is a pandemics like COVID-19, terrorism attacks like trade wars, and labor disputes, natural disasters like regulatory politicals, environmental change, sudden demand rise, and suppliers bankruptcy. Companies that leverage advanced technology may tackle the mishaps. So these kind of things highly impact on supply chain activities in a COVID-19. It's a highly gonna like a terrorism, trade wars, and environmental changes some suddenly natural disasters, and these kind of things. That is a company that leverage advancements technology. It's really hard to tackle the mishap. So the another rest parts covered my other friends. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, this is Raghav Sudhira, and I'm going to present the group presentation report on the topic, that is how catastrophic risks such as COVID-19 could impact supply chain industry. So I'm with my group mates Rashi Singolan, Dylan, Snadeep Kaur, and myself. So these are the topic covered by my teammates, and these are the topics I will cover: challenges of supply chain, overcome the risk of supply chain, recommendations, and conclusions. So the very first topic is challenges of supply chain, in which first of all I would like to thank you to my teammate, that is Snadeep Kaur, who gave me chance. So in which quality customer service is important place in supply chain. It is responsible for the way customer feel about the product and the suppliers itself. As we are aware about that, since its outbreak from the Wuhan in China, the virus spread across the China around the world and popping up in Australia, US, South Korea, Italy, Iran, and other countries as well. So with the effect of COVID-19, customers are feeling like good quality product and services, so they become safe and healthy. So the other point is the supplier relationship. In the supplier relationship, it is a systematic approach to assess supplier contributions to your business because of this COVID-19 effect. lot of business are shut down and companies have to lose their employees as well because of this effect only. Moreover, a few countries have lost their relationship with other countries, such as the China has lost their relationship with other countries, as China is one of the biggest exporter in the world who export the goods to all the countries, and the other one is costing. So it is one of the process of the supply chain, and it helps to reduce the cost of manufacturing process, who uses many parts for manufacturing. So costing, what are things for costing? Costings for like for shipping, for storing goods, for retrieving them. So these all things can costing us. In this case of COVID-19, all the things, all the goods and services we have to store in our warehouse. So these all things are costing us without getting any income. So this COVID-19 really affect the business and provide all of the supply chain as well. Unforeseen delay. In this unforeseen delay, if you can say, the business are now shutting down, and because of COVID-19, the main reason is they are not getting supplied due to bad transportations. So that's why it's delaying. So it really affect on the business, the wholesalers, retailers, and the customer as well. They're not getting things on time. And the other one is the forecast changing market. Technology has led the way in enabling supply chain software to become the faster and more efficient. But with the effect of this virus, it has negative effect of the market, and the peoples are not able to deal anything due to the government restrictions. So my next topic is the overcome the risk of supply chain. So these are the points to overcome the risk, manage and push down cost within the supply chain, optimize stock and supply chain request over different channels, and to utilize the correct way using the computer programs. Overall, I would like to tell you that overall the risk of the supply chain, um, the companies has to optimize the stock and supplies over different online channels. So with the help of online channels, computer programs, so we can sell our product, so we can resolve this problem. And this thing helps to improve the quality, increase the sale, and we have to contact with the our suppliers and customers as well. So on the other side, our stores are not fully, and the warehouse are moving. We can sell our product on different places. So recommendations. The recommendations. Organization must reassess their resources, strategies, and restructure their supply network. And the other one is the digital twins. So digital twins, the companies must also construct smarter and advanced supply chain framework and situation assessment through digital twins for providing both the instantaneous evolutions and prolonged capabilities to continuously assess the ideal balance between risk elevations and the lean opportunities. Increase global insight and visibility, analytics and the visualization model, capabilities to establish choice and take action. So there are some capabilities we have to be in us with while using the supply chain. So that's why we can take the action as necessary to move the conclusion. Supply chain is the backbone of all the global economy. So you can also say the spinal cord of the global economy. There is a strong need to have a background and preparing prepared to tackle such crises. Moreover, supply chain is also a network help us to prepare to efficiently respond to any future black swans if it happens in the future. Thank you.